The fairy-type legendary Pokemon Xerneas is returning to raid battles, and this time around, it's actually really important you pick yourself up a 100% IV or something really close. And the reason for that is because there are new implications behind the Master League with this Pokemon, and you do not want to miss out on it. Alright, so let's jump right into it. Yo, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Okay, so this video is going to be a guide on Xerneas, and the reason why I'm giving this guide is because you will want to raid this Pokemon en masse. This week is, of course, Pokemon Go Fest week, and you will want to save a lot of your raid passes for this weekend if you are attending Pokemon Go Fest New York, but for everyone else, you will want to raid as many Xerneas as possible. And the reason for that is, of course, because this Pokemon is now one of the strongest Pokemon in the Master League, as well as with raid battles. Now, the difference this time around is that Xerneas is going to be getting a brand new attack, and because of this one attack, it's going to elevate this Pokemon into the top tier for the Master League. You do not want to miss out on that advantage, so getting a 100% IV Xerneas as well as the XL candy to max it out will allow you to get a lot of easy wins. This Pokemon will also be one of the strongest for raid battles when it comes to fairy type damage. That is another thing you will want to get in your arsenal, so make sure you're farming as many Xerneas while you can because this Pokemon is now extremely good. So now, with all of that said, let's talk about how you can defeat this raid boss with the least number of trainers as possible. Alrighty, let's talk about Xerneas. So, this Pokemon is a pure fairy type, which means it's only going to have two weaknesses, which is of course going to be Steel and Poison. It's also going to have a double resistance to Dragon type attacks, and regular resistances to Bug, Dark, and Fighting type attacks. Now in terms of perfect IVs, you will want one that is 2160 if it is not weather boosted, and 2701 if it is weather boosted. This Pokemon is going to be weather boosted by cloudy weather, so if you want a weather boosted Xerneas, then that is the time that you will want to go out and raid this boss. Now, the number of trainers is going to vary depending on what counters you bring and what Mega Evolutions you have. The most secure way to beat Xerneas is to have a total raid group of 5 trainers that are at least level 35 and bringing Steel types and Poison types. But if you want to challenge yourself, you could actually duo this Pokemon as long as you're both bringing Mega Evolutions and have a good number of Steel types and Poison types in your raid party. Now, let's go over the best counters for Xerneas. When it comes to the Mega Evolutions, it really varies as long as you bring Pokemon with Poison typing or Steel typing. This includes Mega Gengar with Poison type attacks, Mega Beedrill with Poison type attacks, and Mega Scizor with Steel type attacks. You could also consider bringing Mega Aggron or Mega Steelix as long as you have Steel type attacks on those Pokemon. Now, in terms of non-Mega Evolution counters, Shadow Metagross is by far going to be your absolute best Pokemon. It deals an insane amount of DPS, and it does resist a lot of Xerneas' moves, so even though it has that Shadow debuff, it's definitely going to benefit from the Shadow buff. If you don't have Shadow Metagross, then regular Metagross with Meteor Mash is going to do really well. But you could also bring Nihilego as well, and I would only bring Nihilego if you have Mega Evolutions that will boost it up. Now in terms of budget counters, it's pretty much the same down the board. The same Mega Evolutions are good, but you could also bring regular Metagross with Steel type attacks, Excadrill with Steel type attacks, or Roserade with Poison type attacks. All these Pokemon are going to do a good amount of damage against Xerneas, and it will allow you to take it down with the least number of trainers as possible. You really want to make sure you're bringing the right counters, and I think the easiest way to go about it is to have a Steel type Mega Evolution and have a whole party of Metagross. Until they release Mega Metagross, it's really going to be up to you, but going the Poison type route is going to be a lot more difficult because players tend to go with Steel types against this boss, so it'll be a lot easier to coordinate with other trainers at the raid if you just bring a whole bunch of Metagrosses and have a Steel type Mega Evolution. Alright, so there you have it. This was my guide on how you could defeat Xerneas. Now, like I said earlier, this is Pokemon Go Fest week, so if you are attending Pokemon Go Fest New York, I actually suggest you save your raid passes because during that event, there's going to be Mega Rayquaza raids, and that is definitely going to take priority. But if you're not attending Pokemon Go Fest New York, then maybe you could spend a bunch of your raid passes trying to pick yourself up a 100% IV of Xerneas. That is of course because this Pokemon is just so incredibly good good right now, and you do not want to miss out on that. The new move that Xerneas is getting is called Geomancy, and this move is definitely one you will not want to miss out on. Xerneas with Geomancy is going to be one of the top Pokemon in the Master League, and it's going to be really good for raid battles as well. So overall, this Pokemon's value is incredibly high, and it's definitely one of those Pokemon you need to prioritize. And yeah, if you follow the guide that I laid out in this video, you will have no problem taking down this boss. It's pretty straightforward because of its pure fairy typing. As long as you're bringing the right counters as well as the right Mega Evolutions, you will have no problem taking it down. And make sure you farm up as many of them as you can because of how good it truly is right now in Pokemon Go. Also, don't forget that Xerneas also has its shiny form available as well, and that is definitely going to draw a lot of trades. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Make sure you collect as many shiny Xerneas as possible, and who knows, maybe if you're lucky, you might pick up that Shundo, and that would be really insane. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this raid guide video. I really hope you found it to be helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then do check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon Go, like with remote raids, then do consider joining me on Patreon. And as always, if you want to support my channel non-monetarily, you can do so by following me on social media. I'm on the following platforms that you see on the screen. My handle is @Jinsula. I try to post as much content as I can on social media, so if you want to stay up to date on Pokemon Go related stuff or engage in some different conversations, then you can do so by following me on social media. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.